Hey, you guys, welcome to FC PopCorn, a film companion original podcast. I'm Sneha.
I'm Suchin.
I'm Deepanjana.
We're talking about underrated gems, romantic films. I can't believe I said gems.
Gems.
They are gems.
We're gonna do
Underrated
gems.
love stories? Is that
Yeah.
fair? Yeah?
Yeah.
No? Yeah?
To watch this Valentine's Day with your...
Nobody, your cat,
Your everybody,
your furniture.
your puppy.
Your husband.
I
So I'm going to go with I Love Thane, which I really, really enjoy.
Nice. Modern Love Mumbai.
Yes, Modern Love Mumbai.
Kind of
Also-
stole one of mine, but nice.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we share a pick.
Yeah.
Well
But-
done. I just love that film because I went in expecting very little. But I think Masaba just sort of brought something to it. And Dhruv Sehgal is just so good when it comes to like slice of life. And I think that one line, I know you quoted it in your review and it's just stayed with me. The one where I feel less judged when I'm around you.
judge myself
I judge
less.
myself less when I'm around you, which is, I think, love for me. I really liked that film. That one stayed with me quite a bit.
I feel so happy that that's somebody's pick. You know, I feel validated. No, that literally Modern Love Mumbai was going to be one of my picks, just because, like, just at a time where we don't get enough love stories. They're not making love stories anymore. That was one show that I still feel hasn't found the audience it could find. Just the diehard sort of romantic film audience, where again it was a mixed bag. Not all of them worked, but I mean, I love Thane. That was my favorite. Even Vishal Bhardwaj's rom-com was so interesting and fun and sweet. And yeah, he's never been more playful. So no, I still feel that Modern Love Mumbai on Amazon still hasn't found the audience it deserves.
Yeah, underrated. Hence,
100%.
check it out this Valentine's Day. Yeah, that's a pick. What's yours?
You're both saying modern love.
No, I'll
Okay,
pivot to something
please,
else.
yes.
Oh no, me again. Okay, I'll go slightly off base. So I'll go with 96.
Oh my god, that was on my list.
Which is a Tamil movie starring Vijay Sethupathi and Trisha. It is, I think, 2019, if I'm not wrong, 2018, and I haven't seen it for a couple of years, but it still sticks with me. It literally is it's one of those. The entire film just takes place over one evening, two people spending an evening together, two sort of long lost lovers, the one who got away, done in such a sort of heartfelt, meaningful, and just heartbreaking way. Of just sort of, it's a college, if I remember correctly, it's a college reunion. And these two sort of sweethearts sort of meet again, but obviously they've, life has happened, they've moved on, they're not together, and they just spend these few precious hours together, and it feels like an infinity, but at the same time, it's sort of, they're sort of getting back into the groove of what they could have been, and you feel so much for them, but at the same time, it's looming over you that this is going to end, and you can tell very early on this is not going to be the happy sort of ending, and there's something to that as well. I love, even though they're not always the happiest, I love love stories that play with the idea of, this is what would actually happen, rather than sort of the big swooning romance we're used to. So 96 is one that is always sort of embedded itself.
So that's the thing, like love stories with sad endings.
Yeah.
Where both the characters in the film as well as the audience is left wondering what might have happened. There's something really tender about them. And in a weird way, I feel they're a lot more romantic than the traditional happy ending, because that sort of implies that the story is over.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about sad endings is that it tells you that it just goes on and on in these people's minds.
So are you saying that even when you see a sad ending, there's part of you that thinks, what if?
Yeah.
That's really nice. I've never
Like
thought about
for
it.
me, one of my favorite films with along those lines is Silsila.
Yeah.
Because it takes a whole journey, right? From young love to circumstances parting them to meeting again after, like, it answers every one of the what if questions and then again leaves it open at the end, because they stay within the bounds of matrimony, these two couples, but you can see that both of these couples are going to have to write a new love story. So there's a lot of potential for what if sitting in that open ending, in a sense. I mean, it's not as closed as it seems on paper.
Yeah.
Because of the performances.
Speaking of open endings, I just have to plug Vishal from Film Companion. I did a piece with the director as part of a series, the director of 96, as part of a series he did on sort of what would happen after. And he did it with the director of 96 to basically talk specifically about that question. Where would these guys be today?
Where, do you remember? I need to know.
I don't know the answer. It's such a great idea to just talk about where would they be today.
Yeah.
So, people should definitely check that out.
Wasn't Ek Main or Ek Tu also one of those?
Also
I really
on my
love
list.
how they kind of... Oh, on your list?
It was on my long list, yeah.
I love that. I love that film. And just how they left it was also...
Yeah. And also for me, unlike the others, because a lot of people see Ek Mein Aur Ek Tu as a traditional rom-com where they don't end up together. Like that's the one-liner. But for me, it wasn't a sad ending because it was, for me, a film about how sometimes not ending up together is the happy ending. It obviously keeps it open. They are still very close friends, but not, every equation is meant to end up in love.
Correct.
And what I love about that film is, it's one of the most underrated films for me because it's the treatment. Everyone sees it as a traditional dharma rom-com, but it really isn't. There was something, it's obviously Shakun Batra, and there was something very refreshing about that film. It really wasn't doing the same cliched things. And there was something very sort of self-aware, interesting, different about it. I keep going back to it.
Yeah, I feel like watching it again.
Yeah.
I don't think Shakun Patra does straightforward romance.
Yeah.
Right? Like someone should get him on a shrink's chair because like they are such messed up love stories, Like love is always a con of some sort in Shakun Batra's films.
Yeah.
You think you're seeing a love story and then he'll just rip it apart, So that's quite interesting to me because he's also, when you look at the films that he's made, he's also subverting what is actually quite central to the Hindi film, Bollywood Hindi film particularly, which is no matter what the genre, there will be a love story, right? Like not only because it enables songs that were once the mainstay of the genre, like the characteristic part of the genre, but also because sympathy and empathy for the lead happens easiest, I think, through a love story. It's a very simple and straightforward way of showing a hero as heroic because the girl, because she's always a girl, God forbid women, because women are a little more discerning, I guess. But yeah, the girl will be like, heart eyes. And so then audience is like, oh, I also love him.
Yeah.
Great. Resonating. We are same to same, madam. Okay. So you always have these love stories. And then the love story gets set aside for the hero to do his real thing. In Shakun's stuff, it's the other way around. I'm saying Shakun like he's my chuddy buddy. He's not. But
Shout out to Shakun.
If you're listening, sorry.
We assume everyone's listening.
So what
Shakun.
What Shakun does in his
Shucks,
films,
yeah.
Shucks.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, we're never getting an interview with you, are we? Anyway, what Shakun does in his films is that he'll give you this thing of, oh look, you're going to watch a love story. No, you're not. This is actually a family drama. This is actually a thriller. This is actually something else. So it's the other way around. So yeah, that's Ek Main Aur Ek Tu. Yeah, that was good. I'm going to go full tilt arty. This is not underrated. Actually, it is underrated. It was underrated when it came out. Satyajit Ray did a film called Kapurush, translated as The Coward. And the lead pair there are Soumitra Chatterjee and Madhavi Mukherjee, two actors who Ray worked with many, many times. Soumitra was almost like his cinematic alter ego. You know, he played a lot of characters that I think Ray sort of imbued with a little bit of his own essential personality. Kapurush is not one of them because so Ray had a very delicious love story of his own, right? Like he and his wife ran away to get married because his wife is a little bit older than him within the family, that sort of thing. So he had no shortage of courage and valor when it came to living out his love story. But Kapurush is about a guy who isn't able to be there for the woman he loves and therefore loses her. So when they were young, Madhavi and Soumitra fall in love. And in the way the film is written, progresses, you don't realize exactly what had happened right at the beginning, but you meet them when they have clapped eyes on each other after many years.
Right.
So the first thing you realize is like Soumitra Chatterjee is staring, eating Madhavi up with his eyes. And of course you are, because that woman is 100 kinds of beautiful to the power of infinity. There was a art exhibition by Atul Dodia recently in Bombay where basically he did enormous oil paintings of scenes from certain films. There are 2 scenes from Kapurush. They're all the backs of Madhavi with like these. I took a friend of mine and she was like, so many ideas for
blouse
blouses.
designs.
One film.